How's it going, everybody? I want to react to this video that a creator called O'Shea Du Jackson made about the beef between Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb, which Anton Daniels, supposed to be the calm, quiet intellectual, went to the Corey Holcomb show. And if you know, you know. They got into an argument and came this close to a fight. Off of that fight, or almost fight, MYRON Gaines did a review on it, talking tough, right? Talking like the people at the bottom of the barrel, the streets, like they like to say. They like to call it the streets. And even Anton Daniels became streets. It's like it's the only way to communicate with them, or the people at the bottom, how to touch base with them. You got to talk streets. But let me show you what I mean and give you guys my opinion. I'll pause it every now and then. Be sure to give this video a like. Here's the video. This is MYRON Gaines giving his reaction to how Anton Daniel was able to walk into the lion's den and push back at Corey Holcomb being a bully. Because, like, this is what you normally get at the bottom of the barrel, right? They like to get loud and bully you to try to get you to conform to what they say or agree with them. And for the first time, Anton Daniels stood up to them at their level, right? Because if you act smart and you speak properly and you do all of the good shit, they call you a sellout and they stop listening to you, right? They tune you out. But keeping it ghetto makes so much sense. And here MYRON Gaines makes it a little ghetto also. Unafraid of getting canceled, because that's a big thing. Check it out.
When streets or hood come to you and try to come at you a certain way, the only real way that you're going to deal with it is you got to let niggas know there will be consequences if you come at me.
Many people are talking about the situation.
Yes, right? There will be consequences if you come at me. And you got to be clear about that, right? You got to push back at the same level in order for them to get it. Now take a look.
Between Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. But one person that's talking about it is MYRON Gaines, and he made a video about it called MYRON Dismantled Corey Holcomb for chimping out on Anton Daniels. And for this video, I'm not going to talk about Corey Holcomb's point of view or even Anton Daniels' point of view. I will be responding solely to MYRON's point of view, all intents and purposes. And the reality is that MYRON has a problem with the institutional framework of a person like Corey Holcomb.
Dr. Umar Johnson, like Tariq Nasheed, like Corey Holcomb right now, their entire identity is around victim Olympics, how they're being oppressed, how white people keep them back.
But wait, there's more.
You a tether. You ain't even one of us, bro. We was here. We created this civil rights movement so you can even thrive here. Okay.
You know, when somebody talks like this, it should get the other people to reflect on their actions and how people are perceiving them or taking a look at their actions. It's just dumb. Switch, change. Like, how do you tell somebody to stop it? Look at what you're doing and stop acting stupid.
Okay, Smith, since you've been here for like 8 generations and you're a foundationally Black American, explain to me how a first-generation American can come here, make more money than you, become more successful than you, from immigrant parents. Explain that to me, Aquarius.
He accuses Corey, Tariq Nasheed, people like Dr. Umar Johnson for having a victim-blaming narrative, all right? And then
Yeah, they always talk about it's the white man's fault, and they stop trying to appeal to a larger audience, or they stop trying to make more money. They stick to one niche, a niche that's slowly disappearing. Everybody's waking up and paying attention and noticing it is a stupid niche that just keep people in jail or out of big money moves, big money situations.
Follows it up with, well, if you guys started the country and you were responsible for all of these other immigrants coming in, how do you explain that these immigrants can come into America and start doing better than you? Let me address.
You know, that should wake people up. And it should make people stop what they're doing and try. You know, stop waiting for a handout. Stop waiting for a chance and just go get it. Especially nowadays with the internet, you get all the information you need. Whatever lane you want to pursue, it's open.
Both of the points. It is definitely true that Black people tend to have a victim mindset to a certain degree. I've heard it. I disagree with it.
I hate it.
It is something that is a part, especially of the left-leaning liberal culture. Obviously, there's a lot of truth in why Blacks feel that way. But I do honestly feel that we do use this as a crutch against development and accountability to a certain degree. He isn't wrong there. Two, when we talk about immigrants coming into the United States, working hard and doing very well. Yes, number one, they are starting off at the bottom. This is very true. But we cannot deny that certain immigrants are coming to America with something to add. It's just like me coming to Poland or to Uganda. Like by the time I got to Poland, I already had graduated undergrad. I went to UC Berkeley post-bac. You know, I had some level of experience in business. You know, when I came to Uganda, I'd already graduated medical school. So even though I'm an immigrant coming into another country, I am coming with certain social advantages. If I know how to organize a business in my home country, if I know how to do certain things, if I come from a good family. So when we look at immigrants doing good.
After all that education, what are you doing in Uganda? Like, are you kidding me? There's no money over there. Like, O'Shea Jackson, you do a lot of YouTube video. I mean, you make a lot of money making videos. So this whole being a doctor in Uganda, it's weird, man. Weird. So your credibility right there, I don't know.
In America, we can't say that all immigrants are coming at the same level or the same skill set. Many immigrants may be poor when it comes to the United States, but their parents could have been teachers. Their parents could have been chemists. I remember
And you know, one of the bad things is that some immigrants come here and you got those that pick up the good habits, the working hard habits, the education habits, getting more, becoming more prosperous. And then there's some lazy ones that pick up the streets. Some bad apples. They're like, yo, this makes so much sense. This is so easy to be a criminal. Going to school is stupid. And then they fuck it up for everybody else. Those, a few, are the ones that carry the reputation. This whole streets keeping a real crap.
Going to Sacramento City College for a semester, and I was taking chemistry during summer school. There was a young lady that had just came from Nigeria, and she was retaking chemistry. She already had a master's degree in chemistry in Nigeria. She was just starting over. So when she was taking the classes, she might have been poor, but she obviously had an advantage. So she was getting all A's. So now she's reschooling with advantages that people just don't have. And this is the case with immigrants. Some immigrants, whether they speak the language or not, they do have certain intellectual advantages that certain Americans may or may not have. And
the few immigrants that go rogue or go bad, they mess it up, the reputation for everybody else. They make hard work look stupid. Or doing good work, they make all of that look stupid. And then there goes the reputation out the window. Just like that Somali situation happening in Minnesota. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of intellectuals, you know, teachers, senators, doctors, but such a large portion of them are saying working is stupid, school is stupid. Let's just rob the United States. And now they're like up to $9 billion in fraud. So some way somebody got to say and do something to straighten everybody out. So.
And that is why certain immigrants come over and do well. But the problem with Myron's framework here is that he's acting as if all immigrants do well. We've seen that certain immigrants may do well because of certain levels of fraud. We have now seen this with the Somali community. We have now seen.
I got 2 cousins that got deported. Why? Because they misbehaved in America, kept getting locked up. Go back to your country. So many people got to get deported because they're just messing things up for everybody else. You know what they do? They clock those that work 9 to 5. And they fuck it up for those who are working hard for their money. So, yes, we got to deport a bunch of these black seeds.
So much crime in other communities. We've seen it with Hispanics. So we do know that while there are certain immigrants that do well, there are many immigrants who do not do well. And to paint the picture that all of these immigrants are coming over and doing better than Black Americans is just solely not true.
I mean, if you think about it, 2 out of I got 20 cousins got deported. So a lot of them straighten up and they learn that you get more from working, from savings, from chipping in, all right? Helping themselves and their family, their direct family, like wives and kids. Not taking to the streets, not keeping it real, because it's so easy to get locked up.
And we do understand that many immigrants are poor, many immigrants are there illegally, many immigrants don't add very much to the sophistication of the United States. While some do, many may not. And then he continues on with the assault.
You know, Brad and Becky, when they see me, they don't think tether. They don't think Sudan. They don't think Muslim. You know, they think that's a right? They assume I'm black just like you. They don't know the differentiation. They don't know if I'm from Sudan or Wakanda or a foundation Black American. These stupid distinctions are only in the Black community.
So he's saying that with these people who are racist, that are blacks, that he is also being looked at in the same way. And so that's really.
And you know what? Also, these old people who keep talking about the white man and how they're putting us down and reparation and we need more of a handout, they're continuing that message, that narrative that we need help when we don't. All you got to do is help yourself. Go to work. Put in the time. Put in the sacrifice. So somebody got to push them and let them know to stop. Put in the work. And automatically you get the respect.
Not an excuse to be unsuccessful in the country. And this is to challenge directly what Tariq Nasheed is saying, directly what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying, and directly what Corey Holcomb is saying. And largely that could be true.
And I'll say this much. I think that's their narrative. And that narrative is fading away. A lot of young black men, women, everybody's waking up to the narrative that is a bullshit narrative. We don't need a handout. I don't need any help. Let me apply myself and do better than those that are not hiring me. How about that? You don't even need a degree nowadays to do anything at a top level.
But here's something that he's not thinking about, and I want to address this. You see, when I'm in Uganda, I'm also dark like them, right? I'm just as black. And when Ugandans talk to me about their problems, well, certainly when I deal with a Ugandan banker or somebody in the private sector, well, they look at me as being African descent. It doesn't really matter what they look at me as. It matters how I see myself. If I do not see myself a part of the Ugandan's problem, then it won't matter. Like, for example, right now in Uganda, they have an election. There are many things about the history of Uganda and the economy that I do not understand. There are many people who have already accepted a level of defeat about the country's future, but I don't hold that mentality, so it doesn't affect me. This is largely true with black immigrants. When they come to the United States, they don't share maybe a certain level of distrust or mistrust for the government. They may not.
It's funny, he said when they come to the United States. How about when they go? Right? Because you're supposedly not in the United States. And what are you doing in Uganda? I think when anybody speaks problem with you, you're now an American. So all people want is a handout from you. If you're an American, you go anywhere, that's all people want, a handout from you. All right? Or they want you to jump into whatever it is that they're working on. So I don't know how much I can believe this guy.
Share a certain level of anxiety towards white people or white America, and many blacks do. I do to a certain degree. I have certain levels of mistrust when it comes to being pulled over by the police, working with whites. That's why I live in Africa, right? But an African may not care about that, and he doesn't care. Africans are largely not concerned with racism or white supremacy or being tied to that historical framework because it never happened to them. It doesn't matter to them how they're being seen. It matters that they.
It never happens to people in the United States. We're talking about racism that happened over 100 years ago. Let it go. Nobody that's alive today knows anything about that. They're taught that there are racist people against you. Watch out. You're taught this narrative that, damn, who the hell wants to start life with that mentality? That's somebody else's fault. That you're not going to school or getting good grades, that you're not learning how to read, that you can't get a job. God damn, let a person grow up and let them experience life. How beautiful life is. How about that? Give everybody a chance. So nobody been through racism. Period. It doesn't exist anymore.
Perform. So they focus on performing. The same thing as any of us that comes to any part of the world. We have so many successful Black Americans in Ghana. There are many Ghanaians who are suffering in Ghana, who are fed up with the government. And Black Americans come over to Ghana many times and do very well. Same thing in Kenya. Same thing with me in Uganda. We don't share any level of chagrin that the Ghanaians talk about. We can't relate to it because we don't share their problems. So we come into the country and then we do very well. And it's all because of the institutional framework that we're using. That goes for anybody that goes anywhere in the world where they have not been oppressed. Okay, so why he's making that?
Forget oppression against is not real. It is not real. There are people oppressing themselves mentally, keeping the plantation filled with workers. Like every company, all they want you to do is work. Put in the work, make them more money. What are you talking about racism? Put in some work. That's it. Get racism out of your mind. So I don't believe this guy too much.
At that point, he forgot to adjust for that.
And here's the thing. This isn't a skin color thing.
Nope.
This is a mindset thing.
Yep.
That's the problem. You guys have a victim complex. It's victim Olympics. It's always white man holding me down this, white man holding me down that. Shut the up, bro. Shut the up. Racism is no longer a valid excuse to be a failure.
So at this point, I largely agree. Racism is not an excuse for failure.
Exactly.
But then here is where he gets off board.
This exchange in itself is a W for Anton Daniels. This proves us right. They don't know how to behave, bro. They don't know how to behave.
Yep.
And have a conversation. Got to come in and try to escalate, try to do these intimidation tactics and shit. And unfortunately, I'm glad that Anton did this because Anton comes from Detroit. He knows what time it is.
Yep.
Now, he's going to respond to this whole situation with Corey Holcomb and how Corey was responding to Anton. By now, we've all seen it. And what he's saying is Black people don't know how to behave. He actually uses the N-word. And Black people are emotional. Now, I want to use MYRON as an example because girls don't know how to behave. Black people don't know how to act. And it's interesting that MYRON himself would use this behavior because, he got kicked out of AmFed.
That's one way of being tough, of acting tough, with no fear that what you say is going to get you canceled. So many people are scared to say the truth because they don't want to get canceled. All right? They don't want to offend anybody. So MYRON over here, he feels free thanks to Anton Daniel going and battling Corey Holcomb one-on-one and showing that there's no reason to have fear.
He's gotten banned from certain social media sites. He lost his monetization on YouTube. He's been kicked off of TikTok. He's been kicked off of Facebook. So he's right. Negroes just don't know how to behave. And this is important because when I listen to MYRON talk about the Corey Holcomb situation, when I listen to Anton talk about the Corey Holcomb situation, they talk about these situations as if they are not a part of the problem. It would be different if it was Thomas Sowell reviewing Anton Daniels versus Corey Holcomb, a person.
No. And again, there's a way to speak to that audience at the bottom of the barrel, to those people in the field. They call them field niggas. There's a way to talk to them, because if you don't bring it down to their level, they don't hear you. All right? They don't hear the Samuel Sauls or the intellectuals or the people having proper conversations. They want people to take it down and scrap with them, just like Anthony Daniel going over there to talk to them at his show with no fear. So that's the way I see it, that he stepped her down. All right? Saw the audience face to face. Like, look.
That we never see get out of frame. He's always a professional. He doesn't engage in a back and forth bickering or arguing and yelling and crashing out on people. We know both Anton Daniels and Myron to both engage in this behavior, and even I engage in this behavior, but I don't try to run from it as if I don't do it. I do it, but you're trying to act as if they do it, and see, that's how the N-words are, and you.
No, that's how they do it, and continue to talk like it's normal, like there's no progressing, like they don't get better, like you're stuck on stupid. That's how they behave. A lot of them just stuck on stupid. Like there's no way of you making me read a book. There's no way of you making me read it properly or act differently. I'm keeping it real. That's what they say.
Don't represent that particular framework when you do. Both of you guys do. And so these blacks are emotional and don't know how to behave when you don't know how to behave. And that becomes partly my issue. If you are going to talk about Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar crashing out, Corey, O'Shea, whoever you want to say that does not know how to behave or how to act in debates, we can clearly go back and see both of you behaving in the same way that you're being critical of. Now,
and like for people, anybody who tries to talk to the bottom of the barrel at an intellectual or more a proper a proper valve or properly, they don't get listened to. They get made fun of. They're told to shut up. You're scared. You're stupid. I think Myron here showed that he's not scared. He's not scared to say the truth, because that's the biggest problem. People always get shut down being told that you pussy. You're not keeping it real. You don't know how it is. So here Myron is showing he does know how it is. He does know how to take it down to the bottom of the barrel. He knows how to talk like them. And he's not scared to do it.
Again, when you're on the right, I mean, because the conservative community, and I'm a Republican, the blacks in the right are supposed to never behave like the hood boogers, as you guys call them, on the left. This crashing out, this emotionalism, this not being able to articulate themselves.
Again, that's all they hear. That's the only way to communicate with them. By showing no fear. That's all Myron is doing, showing no fear. All right? Talking to them intellectually and nice with the niceties and being nice and calm and cool. None of that shit works. Right? Because at the same time, Myron is being entertaining. Talking to the audience, being honest, and not just being all polite and high almighty. No. Listen, they're making fun of us. Stop acting like a freaking gorilla.
From the arguments, always looking for amnesty, from accountability in conversations. That is what the left is supposed to do. So somebody like Myron or somebody like Anton Daniels, if you really want to say black Democrats are the problem, which in many cases they are, the way you actualize that is by your behavior. It means that you never engage in debauchery with people.
I think the YNs are done with that, of being nice, of saying I don't stoop down to that low level. Fuck it. They're just like, whatever, my man. We could take it down to that level. You're not the only ones who could think like that or talk like that. That's showing no fear. So bringing it down to their level, that hopefully works. If not, fuck it. Nobody's scared to talk to you, this man, especially in the computer in front of a camera. What are we doing? Forget keeping it real. Just keeping it honest.
People who are engaging in debauchery. You're supposed to bring them to the light, because remember, you left the Democratic plantation and now you're on the Republican right. You're Myron, you associate yourself with some people on the alt-right, extreme alt-right, groypers, not even just middle right, just alt-right. And so your behavior should be different. But here's the biggest problem with Myron.
Exactly. See, lets them know. I hate to say it. Feel like Steve Irwin. Quack it, Mike. The bat goes over. It starts trouble. But the other know that he's not afraid. You guys know I like Anton. I'm just around. But this is what it's got to be, though, bro. This is what it's got to be.
So basically, he does something interesting. He takes a cheap shot at Anton Daniels. He calls Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb a baboon and a girl, which is interesting because this is supposed to be your boy. You're acting like you're just playing. No, you're not playing. This is exactly how you feel. And see, this is why somebody like Myron cannot be trusted, because Anton Daniels, to his defense, flew to Miami. I think Anton is always in Miami.
No,
he has never said anything bad about you on his platform. He has never called you anything like a monk. He's never called you any kind of a bad name. But then you go out and you make this assessment, or you make this parallel to a bad to Anton and Corey Holcomb, and then you try to redress it as if you're joking. You're not joking. That's how you feel about Anton Daniels. It's exactly how you feel about Corey Holcomb. And yet I'm pretty sure that
now O'Shea Du Jackson sounds hurt. Like his emotions and feelings are hurt and want to pick on Myron. One-on-one, you want a fight with Myron.
Anton Daniels considers Myron Gaines a friend, but you would never hear Myron Gaines talk about a white person like that. He wouldn't refer to Nick Fuentes like that. And I would believe that Anton Daniels is miles and miles more successful than Nick Fuentes. Anton Daniels works harder than all of those guys on the right combined. All right. He is a hard-working guy. You may not like his point of views or his position, but he works hard to do what he does. And Myron doesn't know anybody white that's a content creator that will put in a level of work and the level of tenacity that Anton Daniels has done in this business. Yet and still, after this man has come onto your show, you refer to him as a and then you try to dress it up as if you're not playing. No, if there's ever a fallout between Myron and Anton Daniels, he will go back to using this framework. And he does not appreciate anybody black that comes to try to help him out. And again, you can't make friends with people based on the fact that, oh, well, you want to hold black people accountable, and so do I. So let's get together and let's be friends. Because what happens is once that relationship falls out, then you guys both hate black people. Then whoever is the black is going to get the most hate. And this is exactly what Myron Gaines has done. We have seen it. We've heard it. It's right there for the world to see. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Du Jackson back at it again.
All right. I don't agree with O'Shea Du Jackson. All right. Myron is being tough with everybody. Let's talk about it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the ones that lose are the people at the bottom of the barrel, right? Like the Corey Holcomb still spitting that narrative that we are oppressed and we need help. Or we need people to be nice to us and be apologetic and speak with niceties. And what the hell? Why I gotta be so sensitive in talking to people? Like Anton Daniels went in there and just gave them a whole lesson. He showed us how to deal with bullies. Because bullies are just people who talk a lot with a big mouth, but don't have the balls to do anything. At least that's what it came off on the video. That man feared for his life while yelling at Anton Daniels. And the only reason that happened was because Anton Daniels stood up, stood his ground, and said, let's stop talking, let's do this, let's fight. Yo, a bully like Corey Holcomb probably never had anybody say that to him. That was crazy because nobody knew what was going to happen next. It was like a pause. Everybody just stopped. It feels like so real life. Like that's how you deal with bullies. You just got to stop them. See what they're going to do. And then when Anton Daniels saw that he did nothing, for the last week, Anton Daniels has been doing videos talking about how he almost fucked up Corey Holcomb, how he knew the guy with pussy, scared, wasn't going to do anything. Man, he is having a lap around Corey Holcomb, or he's celebrating his win. Because standing up to a bully is not easy. Or telling people what they're doing wrong to stop it. You know, I was a teacher for a little bit, and stopping young kids because they don't know any better, they don't know anything, that makes sense. They're kids. But yeah, a 50, Corey Holcomb, like 56, still acting like a teenager. What a senior citizen. Like the narrative is done. And you got nothing out of it. Nobody wants to work with Corey Holcomb. The man's stuck in poverty. And there's nothing he can do. Or he's waiting for a handout to this day. And ain't nobody going to give him a layup. Ain't nobody going to give him a handout. Everybody going to wait for him to calm down and get in line. There's too many billionaires in the entertainment business and in other businesses in America. None of them waited for a handout. They went and got it. It was so easy for them to make it. I mean, technically it was hard, but once you're up there, easy peasy. So David Chappelle, he's up there with the billionaires, making it work. And look how David Chappelle talks. He doesn't talk all niceties and calm and at their lower level. No. He doesn't talk at a high level, I mean. All intellectual and shit. He talks at their level and it makes him money. So he continues to do it. It only makes sense. But let me know what you think. My name is Noel, here on Urban on Life. Try to make a video. I was able to do a 30-minute reaction video. Hey, God bless. Happy Monday. All right, I'm happy to still talk. I'm over here just battling to continue to be verbal. Let me try to find another video to react to. With that said, see you in the next video. Peace. Yeah, shout out to Corey Holcomb and O'Shea Jackson. You know better. We got to help bring all these people from the bottom of the barrel up to the top. O'Shea Jackson talks about he went ahead and got a medical degree. If he could do it, anybody could do it. And actually, it doesn't have to be a medical degree. Just pursue what your interests are. And hopefully you'll get there and make a lot of money out of it. Whatever makes you happy. All right, I'll be back. Peace.